If you have ever been told that your bloating is normal, your mood swings are just hormonal, or your brain fog is just aging, then this episode is going to flip the script. Today's guest, Dr. Vincent Pedre, is here to help us uncover how your gut might be at the root of it all and what you can do today to truly heal. Welcome to the Life Lunch podcast. This is your front row seat to everything happening inside Life Network. I'm your host, Karie Johnson, and each week we bring you top voices, transformational brands, and insider updates you don't want to miss. This is where self-transformation meets community, because when we grow together, we go farther. So let's dive in. Today's guest, Dr. Vincent, is a board-certified internist, functional medicine certified practitioner, and founder of Happy Gut Life. He is the best-selling author of Happy Gut and the Gut Smart Protocol, which features 14-day personalized gut healing plan based on his signature Gut Smart quiz. Dr. Pedre serves as the medical director of Pedre Integrative Health in New York City and has worked as a nutraceutical consultant and spokesperson for top wellness brands. His latest innovation, Happy Gut Coffee, a clean, toxin-free coffee that supports gut health. At the heart of his work is this belief: the gut is the gateway to total wellness. Welcome to the Life Lunch podcast, Dr. Pedre. Thank you for being here.
I'm so honored to be part of this network, and just I love the philosophy that as a community we can go farther than we can alone. So thank you for having me, and thank you for putting letting me be one of the voices in this incredible community that we're building.
Oh, well, the feeling is mutual. We are beyond grateful to have you. So for those of you who don't know and haven't started to follow him on Life Network yet, he is one of our latest core contributing experts here for Life Network. And I'm very excited because, number one, I love coffee. Number two, I have had multiple gut issues in the past. So I'm excited to learn from you today. And I know many people, unfortunately, nowadays do. And so I'm really looking forward to diving in and kind of maybe debunking some myths, give people some direction and nuggets of wisdom that I know that you'll be able to share with us. So can you take us back kind of to your own gut healing journey? And I had the pleasure of interviewing you at Health Optimization Summit in Austin, so I get to hear a little sneak peek on some of it. But I would love to give our listeners just kind of a background from conventional medical doctor to functional gut expert.
Yeah. Well, my origin story goes all the way back to childhood, when, unbeknownst to myself or even I think to the best, wishes of my parents, they were doing what they thought was right, taking me to pediatricians who were giving me antibiotic after antibiotic after antibiotic. And I grew up in the 80s and 90s where I think really there was this upsurge of antibiotic prescriptions and normalization of just using antibiotics for any airway infection. So when I look back at my childhood, I calculate that I was on 2 to 3 rounds of antibiotics every year from the age of 10 to the age of 19.
Oh my gosh, just for like any ailment that you would have? There's like, here, just take
sinuses, sore throat, respiratory. I got a lot of bronchitis. And in fact, a lot of my bronchitis infections would not respond to antibiotics. And so I remember my mom taking me to clinics back then, and the doctor saying that I needed a gamma globulin shot, which is basically pooled immunoglobulins from blood donors.
Whoa.
So they would give me this gamma globulin shot, and I hated it because, like any kid, I hated getting shots.
Yeah.
But within 24 hours of getting pulled gamma globulins, I felt better every time.
Interesting. How old were you at this point?
I'm like, let's say I'm early teenage years, like 12, 13, 14. And the thing is that nobody stopped to ask, okay, why is it that his immune system isn't taking care of the infection, but when we give him pooled globulins, the infection gets better. He wasn't responding to antibiotics. Nobody ever thought to look at the gut microbiome and the gut lining. And just the fact that 80% of our immune system is all along the gut lining, and it's being programmed by what's happening in the gut. And it just seemed like I just kept tripping over myself. And the doctors thought, well, he's too thin. He doesn't eat enough. I was eating so much bread, pasta, dairy, cereal, milk, ice cream. My mom would take me to get an ice cream milkshake. I would get a vanilla milkshake from either Burger King or McDonald's on the way back from school every single day. And what they didn't realize is that they were literally poisoning my immune system, because
Yeah.
the two biggest things that I found out later on, this is like 2 decades later, when
Mhm.
I'm in my 30s, I'm already a doctor and I'm discovering functional medicine,
Right.
and I find out that I'm sensitive to wheat and dairy.
Oh my goodness. You're like, "Whoa. No wonder I was so sick all the time."
Yeah, my immune system was on this constant overdrive, and what I tell people is it's almost like if your immune system in your gut is fighting a constant battle,
Mhm.
then it loses its ability to survey and protect you from other parts like viruses and infections that come in through the airways. So
That's
I
what
was
happened.
just tripping over myself and getting sick over and over. And you can imagine being that sensitive, I had become a hypochondriac.
Oh, I would imagine, especially as a child to kinda go through all of that.
I was afraid of being around anybody that was sick. I was constantly like worried the minute I got a tickle in my throat.
Mm,
I just thought like, "Oh, I'm getting sick." And so my dad was very much into supplementation. Not that
okay.
it was correct supplementation. This is again
Right.
back in the 80s, but he was very much into supplements. So I got very much into like learning about supplements that boost the immune system. And really like a lot of my energy and attention was focused on like, how do I not get sick?
Mhm. I'm sure.
And that was
Major
part of what I wanted to figure out, going to med school and becoming a doctor. That
Okay.
was that was part of the bigger picture.
Yeah.
There's
Scratch.
there's another origin story to weave in to here, which
Yeah.
explains why I ended up in functional medicine and also in what we could call alternative medicine or out of the box medicine. And it's that I was afraid of needles.
Interesting. Okay.
And so
Wow.
I was very passionate about, like, science, and the marriage of science and helping people was very just felt very noble to me. I was very much focused on serving humanity and what could I
Mm.
do, with the gifts that I was born with, and that's
Well,
why I was, really like, surprisingly wanting to become a doctor while at the same time fearing and not liking doctors.
that's a very interesting paradigm right there. It's like
And on top of that, really being nervous around needles and passing out every time I had a blood draw or injection. I would go through a whole vasovagal, and next thing I knew, they were waking me up and I was,
my gosh.
passed out.
How are you now with needles?
So that was part of the things. I got into medical school, and actually right after I took the MCATs, I came home for Thanksgiving. And I sat my parents down and I'm like, this medical school thing, I
Mm.
don't think I want to do it anymore.
Mhm.
And I was actually my dad and I used to follow the stock market, and that was kind of like the second thing that I always found very fascinating because I liked math and trends, and I used to follow biotech stocks, and I was
Cool.
like, you know what? I think I want to go to Wall Street. I don't want to become a doctor anymore. And my parents were of course like, "What?
Oh,
Where is
yeah.
this coming from?" I'm
You
like,
just got into
"Well,
med.
I'm afraid of needles." Like,
Yeah.
how can I reconcile those 2 things, that I wanna be a doctor, but I can't be in the same room as needles, and alcohol makes me queasy, like the
Mm.
smell of rubbing alcohol that
Yeah.
you use right before. So, they're like, "No, you're going to medical school," and I'm like, "Okay, I'll go to medical school." But, this is lingering over my head. Now, luckily, I
Or
finished college a semester early. I did college in 3.5 years.
wow. Good job.
And when I came home, that was probably the most important time that determined
Mm.
the direction that my medical career would take.
How come?
So Deepak Chopra had just published Quantum Healing.
Mm.
Andrew Weil had just published his book, Spontaneous Healing. I start reading about these miraculous cures that defy what medicine believes. And I start looking at that and thinking that there are things that we don't understand. And there are other ways that are possible that the Western medical system doesn't believe or doesn't want to believe. And then
Yeah.
I started thinking about my response to needles and researching and learning about the parasympathetic and sympathetic and how I was going into this vasovagal reaction with the heart
Hey.
racing and the cold sweat. And the
Yeah.
next thing I thought was, okay, how do I get this under my control?
Yeah. Good job.
And you have to understand, this is 1995. This is pre-internet. This is pre-smartphones. There's no meditation apps. Meditation is not sexy at the time.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Nobody knows
Very
about this.
fringe. Very
So I
fringe.
found a book by a Harvard doctor, and I thought, okay, I can trust him. He's a Harvard doctor. He's doing science, and it's called the relaxation response.
Okay.
So I start doing the breathwork meditation. This is the age of CD-ROMs, if you remember that.
CD, yep.
Yeah. So I find guided meditation CDs, and I start training to be able to not pass out with needles, as if I'm training for a run or anything.
Yeah.
I take this really seriously. I'm like, if I am going to go to medical school and become a doctor, I need to gain control over this runaway autonomic nervous system inside of me. And I am determined that I'm going to figure this out. So just on faith, knowing this is going to be a long-term thing, I'm going to have to start practicing. I start doing breath work. I start doing meditation. And I do this every week. I would close the door to my room. I was back at home with my
you're
parents.
22? Are you 22?
Yeah, I'm 21 years old at the time.
That's wise beyond your years.
And there I am, just on faith, reading this book, and says they had research showing that breath work could reduce blood pressure. Breath work can reduce the reactivity and the stress response and all that. So I'm doing this for the next 8 months in preparation for my Hep B vaccine series that I had to get at least the first shot before the first day of medical school. So I pushed it off as far as I could until August of that year.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, for other people, that's my race day. That was the day. When I go get that shot, that's going to be the test. Did all this breathwork meditation, guided visualization, is this really working?
Yeah.
Can I really conquer this fear of needles? And I go and I sit in that office. I'm at the medical campus, and things that would set me off, non-familiar place, nurse that doesn't know me, and sometimes they're not, they're very cold, and so I'm sitting there and I feel my heart starting to race. I start feeling the cold beads of sweat, and I'm like, okay, close your eyes, start breathing. I used guided visualization at the time, so my favorite place to take myself was a hammock on an island in the Caribbean, right on the beach.
Love it.
So I would imagine myself on that hammock on the beach and imagine all the senses. I get my first shot and I don't pass out.
Oh my goodness gracious, so chills. That's amazing.
And so here I am, having read these books on spontaneous healing, quantum healing, really getting interested in alternative medicine. But then I actually have a real life experience where I conquered something that I knew how I reacted before, and I completely rewired and changed my reaction through breath work and
without
meditation.
drugs.
Without drugs. And to the point that this type A, hyper-wired, worrywart of a medical student or a pre-med student now starts medical school, and my friends start calling me the Zen guy.
That's very different from your traditional pre-med student.
And it wasn't because they knew that I was meditating, because I didn't tell them that I was meditating, because again,
Really?
it's 1995 and meditation is not in the forefront. And I actually felt a little bit embarrassed that I was like, well, they're going to judge me and they're going to think I'm a hippie or something. So I'm not going to tell them what my secret superpower, which was that I go home and meditate every day after school.
Yeah, right. Don't go party at 21 years old. That's incredible. Wow. So then that kind of took you down which
That
trajectory,
I already knew. So that was like, it
you know?
cracked my mind open that even though, because of my family values and all that, I was pushed to go down the standard traditional Western doctor route and get an MD.
Yeah.
My mind was so open by that, and
Mm,
about the possibilities, that there was no way that any level of indoctrination in medical school could close that at that
got it.
point.
Yeah, you every single thing that they were talking about, you're like, "Nope, maybe another way. We could do it. Try it this way."
Yeah, and I was always like, I have to say, like, I kind of attribute contrarian thinking to my dad. Like, he was
Mm,
very much into
that's good.
looking at economics, the stock market. He had contrarian investing books. So he was very much into like looking at how can we look at things a different way from how the mainstream looks
Yeah.
at it. So I was raised in that atmosphere, and I think it really influenced the way that I entered medical school. I'm like, okay, they're going to teach me this, but is there another way also? And
Yeah.
and always asking questions. So all of that led me, so it was like a series of things. Like once I finished my residency training, I was so depressed because I thought,
Mm,
wow, I just did 4 years of medical school, 3 years to train as an internal medicine doctor. And what I've been trained to do is prescribe medications to keep people sick.
yeah, for the rest of their life. Yeah.
And I called my
Ooh.
parents. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not happy. This is not what I signed up for. This is not the
Mm,
type of doctor I wanted to become. And yet, because I followed the traditional route, this is the type of doctor that I was being told that I should become.
yeah.
And I was so depressed. And at the time, I ended up taking a sabbatical year.
Okay.
And during that year, I found my way to yoga and decided to do a yoga teacher training.
No way.
So
So
that got
cool.
me back into looking at the person as a whole, and even just looking at how people breathe, and
Mm,
because the way we use our diaphragm affects so much about our bodies and our nervous system.
yeah.
So it's kind of like a return back to where I had started in the beginning, but I sort of needed that doing a 200-hour yoga teacher training.
Wow.
And then from there, I was like, I don't know. I still want to be a doctor.
Mhm.
I don't think I'm going to become a yoga teacher, but
Yeah.
how can I bring some of this Eastern philosophy into what I'm doing? And that got me into studying medical acupuncture.
Cool.
The medical acupuncture reinforced this concept of systems biology, where every system in our body is
Mhm.
connected to every other system. And whereas the way doctors are trained, the heart is the heart, the lungs are the lungs, the nervous system is separate, the immune system is separate. Like, we have hematologists, we have neurologists, we have cardiologists, we have gastro. It's like we treat the body as if it's all these separate pieces.
Yeah. It's
And
far
when
from
I studied medical acupuncture, it brought me back to the idea that actually, no, we are this integrated network,
mm,
and everything affects everything else.
mhm.
And that's when functional medicine made sense. And from there, I jumped and got into functional medicine. And that's where my real healing journey began, because of the
Yeah.
20 plus rounds of antibiotics. I realized that I was suffering from IBS, from eczema, from brain fog, from fatigue. Like, I would be so tired at 3, 4 p.m. My eyes would feel so heavy that I was with a
Whoa.
patient in a room and I was wishing that I could just go home and get in bed.
Oh, no. At 3, 4 PM just because of brain fog.
Brain fog. Now, what was I having for lunch? I was having a pizza, I was having a
Carbs,
sandwich. So I wasn't making the connection that
diet.
gluten was causing my brain to just go into this foggy place. My gut
Mm,
was a mess. But then I discovered functional medicine and realized, wait a second, gut microbiome, antibiotics. I completely screwed up my gut, not by intentionally, but from all those antibiotics. No wonder I feel the way I feel right
yeah.
now.
Yeah. All the antibiotics and then all the other bad food of the traditional quote unquote food pyramid that we're
Yeah, I
supposed
mean, the
to follow.
things that unfortunately are normalized, and I will say, like, sadly,
Mm.
when I was in my residency training in the hospital, they would serve us pizza and Coke for lunch during a lunchtime lecture.
Of
Like,
course.
this is what they serve doctors.
It's so crazy. It's so backwards. Oh,
And then
goodness.
when you're working an overnight shift, what's open at 3 in the morning when you get hungry?
Talk
The
about.
ven the vending machine
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
with, M&Ms and peanut M&Ms and all
Little
sorts
Debbie.
of, like, sugary snacks, and you learn to unfortunately, I didn't have the nutrition knowledge back then,
Yeah.
and so when I learned functional medicine, I realized, wow, what I thought I was going to have to just live with for the rest of my life because I've been living with this for over 2 decades
You're
is
right.
actually reversible.
Just like
And
you were.
I became my patient number 0. I
Yeah.
was first patient,
I love it.
fixed my gut, became really curious about gut health,
Yeah.
started really zeroing in on patients that came in with IBS, but also with acne or with hives or with eczema or with migraines or immune challenges or allergies or recurrent sinus infections, and they all had the gut in common.
They do. Oh my
And
goodness.
so I just started becoming really curious,
Yeah.
and it wasn't like I was trying to become an expert in gut health.
Yeah.
I was just doing what I loved.
And
The thing
that's,
is that
yeah.
after a couple of years, I realized that, wait a second, like, this person referred their coworker, this other person referred a family member, they referred loved ones and friends, and before I knew it, my practice was like 40% gut
Oh
issues.
my gosh. Yeah. Just from referrals because people heard what you were doing and
From
treated yourself
from
and others.
exactly, and it wasn't that I was actually trying to become a gut expert, it's just
Yeah.
like it just happened because I was just doing what I loved
Yeah.
and seeing the transformations and helping people, and that's what led me to write my first book, Happy Gut,
Happy
because
gut.
I started thinking, like, if if this is just the tip of the iceberg, like, I just keep getting more and more and more people referred to me for gut health issues, this is an epidemic
It isn't.
problem
Yeah.
because of antibiotics, because of
Mm.
pesticides, because of pollution, because of the toxins in our environment.
Yeah.
And I realized, well, I want to have as big of an impact as possible.
Mm.
And that led me to write Happy Gut.
Oh my
And
god.
I was very early on in the wave of talking about the microbiome and
Yeah.
gut health. I was one of the very first
When did that
to
one
do
come
that.
out?
That was in the end of 2015.
Yeah, that would be right on the
Oh,
beginning stages of that, bringing awareness to the masses. Because and even still, some people don't realize how it affects everything. But, oh my goodness, and you made your pain your purpose, and then you started to become more in alignment and treating people how the way that you wanted to treat them, so no wonder these things started to just come to you because you were in alignment. That's powerful. Oh my gosh. So that started like the whole now are you solely treating gut health people, or what's your focus?
that is the lens by which most people find me, but I kind of have very two buckets of people. Probably the bigger bucket is patients with chronic, ongoing gut issues
Mhm.
that have not been able to find a solution.
Mm.
And then the second bucket is biohackers that have
Mm.
heard about, like, how important the gut is, and they want to optimize their gut as part of
Yeah,
a bigger picture of biohacking and being as well as they can.
totally.
But since then, it's kind of like branched out,
Yeah.
and because my foundation wasn't just being a gut doctor, like
Right.
that's the entry point, but I'm still a functional medicine certified practitioner
Yeah.
that looks at everything like mold toxicity, other heavy metals, all that stuff.
Mm.
So this week alone, like I was referred a patient with sleep apnea
Hmm.
and upper airway resistance syndrome because their dentist, TMJ specialist, believes in the gut and the effect of the gut on sleep and sleep
Mm.
architecture. So that was a new one.
Yeah.
And I also this year have been taking care of a young boy, 16-year-old, who has a condition called chronic recurrent multifocal osteomyelitis,
I don't know what
which
that is.
is I never heard of it before. I had to actually go research it when the dad approached me. I had taken care of his sister for gut
Okay.
issues, and in 6 months, like fixed everything, taught her how to take care of herself, and she graduated from the program. And then the dad asked me, "Well, can you help my son?" And I said, "Well, send me like what's going on." He has autoimmune inflammation of the joint margin of the bones. And so he sent me the imaging, and I looked at it and I said, "Look, I've never heard of this condition.
Hmm.
However, I know how the body operates."
Hmm. The whole body.
And we always, and having treated the sister, I knew there were gut issues there. I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if he has some gut related issues that are contributing to a state of inflammation in his body
Right.
that are being manifested in the bones. This kid, 16 years old, could not play sports.
Oh
He
no.
sometimes would wake up and he was in so achy that even it hurt to like even go for a walk.
Gosh, poor guy.
In
So are
2 months,
okay, yeah.
2 months of working together, starting with foundation of the gut, but also working more broadly, like working on. We found that his omega-3s were very low.
Okay.
So his ability to regulate inflammation in his body was actually shifted towards pro-inflammation. So we start working on that,
Good.
trying to improve the diet with negotiation because 16-year-old is not going to do everything you want them to do. But even with that, in 2 months, I had him from not being able to, he goes on a, a class retreat. I think this was like maybe 6 weeks after we started him on the protocol.
Wow.
And he was in Arizona and he was able to hike up Camelback Mountain
That's not an easy mountain.
with like some 45-minute hike.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And then 2 months into the protocol, he starts to play half court basketball.
Oh my gosh. He has like a brand new lease on life. That's incredible. Wow.
And we're still, trying to get him to the point where he's like, I have these goals. And,
Yeah.
and I've had a lot of experience beyond the gut with my own functional skeletal muscle structure. So I always look at things from a very three-dimensional point of view.
Hmm.
And yes, to me, the gut is the entry point. It's kind of like the first lenses that I put on.
Okay.
But really, when I work with patients one-on-one, I'm looking at the whole person,
You're right.
every aspect of their health.
And that comes from
And
your acupuncture training too, probably, and functional medicine.
yeah, it's just it's like everything. Like you can't separate one piece. You look at how everything fits together, and it's sort of cool to be in the biohacking space now because it's such a privilege to already understand the root system of the body, the gut,
Right.
because
Right.
that's kind of like the root system of a tree. It's
Mm.
the foundation. Like anything that you do, you've got to start with the gut.
Yeah.
And then
Bottom
from
up.
there you build from that, and then you get into the fancier, biohacking stuff. But if your gut is a mess, then it makes everything else harder.
Right. And most people have wrecked their gut in one way or another from antibiotics, probably. Even if they're a biohacker and healthy, I'm sure there's some kind of underlying gut issue or inflammation happening.
Or underlying stress.
Stress
I
for sure.
like to say like stress is the
Mm.
unspoken attack on the gut.
Mm.
And it's really I've being in New York City, I've taken care of very the highly wound type A people who are really good about following supplements, of following the diet.
Yeah.
And yet I found that they only got better to a certain point and then they just kind of hit a wall.
Yeah. That's pretty much me.
And I realize that okay, they're doing all the supplements, they're following the diet, then I asked them, well, where are you eating lunch? They're like, oh, I just eat really fast at my desk and I'm still like working. And they're like, okay, you can't out diet and you can't out supplement
Supplement.
a stressed out lifestyle.
Yeah. You hit it on the head there. You're speaking to me.
You can't. And stress to me is like becoming a bigger part of the whole picture
Yeah.
of of what needs to be managed in order to heal the body.
Yes, because of the day and age that we live in, and there's nothing, we want to live optimally in this world that we're a part of now, but we are surrounded by all, EMFs and just a lot of craziness that all even just the news that we can listen to every
I
day.
call I call it biophysical stressors because I think a lot of people have just become uh, stress numb, where mentally
Mm,
they're so used to running around and doing all the things that they do that they're not mentally they think, well, I'm not stressed. Like this is just what I do. But then I tell them, but do you realize that your body doesn't really want to be doing all of that stuff? Like your body, or even just getting exposed to, like you said, to EMFs or like having to travel for work and you're in hotels and you're changing time zones.
mm,
All of that is a stressor
mhm,
for the
mhm,
body. And sometimes your body is screaming out for help.
100%. Yeah, it's little gifts that your body's trying to tell you, and sometimes a subtly way, and then it gets louder and louder until we start to listen, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So I know you have like a gut smart quiz. Is that correct? So people could take that to kind of figure out if they have some issues. Like, would you recommend people to do that? I know we do have that link for everybody that I can drop. But yeah, what
Yeah,
would you?
that's part of my latest book, The Gut Smart Protocol. I created
Okay.
this quiz that I call the Gut Smart Quiz, but it's beyond the gut. It's like it's asking questions about your gut health, but
Okay.
it's also meant for people who have gut-related health issues that may not have a lot of gut symptoms because over the years, this is a question that I get a lot. Like, do you have to have gut symptoms to have a gut-related health issue?
Mm. So
And the truth is that you don't.
okay.
And many times, like I've had patients with autoimmune disease who had zero gut issues and yet
Hmm.
were harboring parasites and yeast in their gut and had leaky gut that was contributing to their autoimmunity. And even though they had no symptoms in their gut, once we treat the gut, other issues, other things outside of the gut get better. Their
May.
skin, their joints, all those things. I had a patient just this past week telling me that she went to her chiropractor and they used this ultrasound machine on her neck,
Hmm.
which usually she says is quite tender, like depending on the level that they use the machine. And that we've now been working together on a gut protocol for probably around 2 months.
Okay.
And she went in, her neck was tweaked a little bit, and she said she had it on the highest setting and it wasn't really bothering her. And she
Whoa.
pointed out, I'm like, "Do you realize, like, this is on the highest setting and you're not in the pain like you usually are."
Yeah.
And and the only thing that's changed is that we're working on her gut.
That's crazy. Oh my goodness gracious. And you'd think that wouldn't be connected, but everything's connected.
Our gut, has endocannabinoid receptors, it has serotonin receptors through the
Mm,
vagus nerve. And that affects our pain signaling. And also, like, our gut microbiome is producing neurotransmitters like serotonin and like GABA and stimulating the vagus nerve.
mm-hmm.
So, our gut is very important in terms of how we perceive pain and even being able to regulate our sleep wake cycle, all
Goodness.
of that. And I think people don't realize, and that's what really got me so passionate about gut health
Yeah.
is the just almost I don't want to say miraculous, but like the unexpected improvements that people would have when I was working with them on their gut health. And a lot of times there were symptoms that they didn't even tell me about that would get better. And they're like, oh, by the way, I didn't tell you that I was having this symptom, but now it's actually gone.
No way. Just because they didn't think it was related and they didn't need to tell you about it.
They didn't think that it was related to their gut.
Their gut. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Well, I'm sure you have many grateful clients. I mean, it's so inspirational. And then you have the smart gut smart protocol, but I know there's so many things that are out there for supplements and people to take and do, and even just like castor oil and coffee enemas and rectal insulfation and like all these things. Like where do you start? And if people are curious to start working with you, what would you recommend?
Ooh, that's
That's
a
a
big
big one.
open question. I mean, look, it's easy to do the gut smart quiz, and I know that's in the resources, and
Yeah.
that will tell you what your gut type is, whether mild, moderate, or severe,
Okay.
and that then dictates what the gut healing diet should be. So that's a really good place to start. A lot of people are sensitive to, I'd hate to say it, but a lot of people are sensitive to gluten.
Yeah.
Many more than realize,
Mm,
and the more testing I do, the more I find that, and it's actually the exception rather than the rule when I
mm,
find that someone isn't
it's
sensitive to wheat proteins like glutenin and
yeah.
gliadin, which are the components of gluten,
Right.
and it's causing damage to our guts, and it increases gut permeability. Also, a lot of people are sensitive to dairy.
True. Mhm.
The thing is that it's not all black and white, and I know it gets complicated and because you might be sensitive to dairy, but you might be okay with goat and sheep milk
True.
or buffalo milk or camel milk, or you might also be okay with having A2 milk.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of nuances, and people need to get educated with that.
Mhm. Mhm.
I've put together a lot of resources on our website
Yeah.
for that, but even starting with the book, The Gut Smart Protocol, and just educating yourself about just taking toxins out of the diet
100%.
and trying to reduce exposure to things like microplastics that people are getting exposed to
Mm.
unwittingly. If
Mhm.
you pick up a coffee to go,
Yes.
then you're getting exposed to microplastics in those paper to go cups.
That's crazy. So okay, and then I definitely want to add on to that then. So what kind of led you to start your Happy Gut Coffee, which is like your latest amazing thing that you have that I got to taste. It's so good.
Thank you so much. A couple of things. I mean, if you look at the branding, it's has a little bit of a retro 70s feel. So it's kind of a nod to my parents and to my
Oh,
the decade that I was born.
it's
Uh,
fun.
Coffee was a big part of our culture. So
Mm,
my background is Cuban,
mm.
and I one of the memories I have from childhood is every morning knowing that it was time to wake up to go to school because I smelled the espresso brewing in the kitchen.
I love it. That's great. It's a good smell.
So we use the traditional mocha pot, and so every morning that was going, and coffee was a big part of our culture, like a coffee after dinner or anytime a friend was visiting in the afternoon. So part of that is the feel good aspect of it, but the second part of it is realizing that there's a lot of coffee out there that is actually damaging people's guts. And the majority of coffee that people are drinking is non-organic.
Right.
It's probably contaminated with some type of
Mold.
mycotoxin mold,
Mm-hmm.
and it's also contaminated with pesticides.
Mm.
So it's doing double damage to the gut because pesticides are like antibiotics,
Mm-hmm.
antimicrobials. They're decimating the diversity of the gut microbiome, and then throw in the mold, and that also causes not only problems with the gut lining, but also with the brain fog. And then just when I got into it, like thinking about coffee culture and how people are getting exposed to microplastics, which actually destroy the mucus layer of the gut and also cause overgrowth of bad bugs in the gut, I
Oh,
just thought, well, no one's talking about coffee from the perspective of gut health.
yeah.
And what is bad about it and what is good about it, because there's polyphenols in coffee that are really great. They serve as prebiotics for the gut microbiome,
Right.
and so it's all of those combination of reasons, like my childhood
Mm.
and also my expertise as a gut health expert, wanting to bring coffee back into the conversation from
I
the
love.
point of view of gut health, and then just having the opportunity to launch my own coffee, Happy Gut Coffee, which is toxin-free, organic, mold-free coffee.
So cool.
It was just an easy entry because the truth is, like, over the years when I put people on detoxes, the first thing they say is, "Well, do I have to give up coffee?"
They do, right? It's true.
Americans love their coffee,
They do.
right? So if I can meet them there where they're at, like at a daily habit,
Yeah,
because and then teach them about that, because I say it's the micro habits that create the macro effects on our health.
100%. That's exactly
And
you're that
so it's not that it takes, like you don't have to go out and start doing cold plunges and all these things. It's about what are the little things that you do every day
yeah.
that perhaps are either adding up to a negative effect on your health, or how could you change it so that it actually has some positive effect on your health?
Mm,
And it's so easy because it doesn't take that much time. But even thinking about like, when you go to the coffee shop, bring your own steel lined tumbler and have them make it in that instead of having one of their to go cups so that you can reduce your exposure to microplastics, which are not only disrupting the gut microbiome, but they're disrupting your hormones.
oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there too with like mood swings and hormone fluctuation and oh, goodness. Yeah, brain
Just all
which
the rates of like the increasing rates of infertility and how many people are having to go to for IVF. Like, we're not really stopping and asking, well, where is this coming from?
right. What's the root cause of it?
Why is this happening now? It did not happen decades ago.
Mhm. No,
Where
it
is
didn't.
this all coming from? Well, one aspect is all the endocrine disrupting, hormone disrupting chemicals that we are exposed to.
Yep.
The most indolent of which are the microplastics because we can't see them and you can't taste them.
Unfortunately, it's just nonstop damage and you're intaking that all the time and you have no idea. Oh, goodness. Well, I'm grateful for you for creating that coffee line. And I know a lot of people are grateful so they don't have to give up their precious cup of coffee. But it is, like you said, those little like daily micro habits that we do that we don't know if it's like good or bad until maybe we start to notice what's happening in our body
Exactly.
or slowly poisoning ourselves, right? Oh, my
Yeah,
goodness.
and you don't know until it's years later when you present with, by the time your body is showing symptoms, that's like getting on the part of the iceberg that you can see above the water. But by the time
Yeah.
you get there, there's been a lot going on under the surface.
Yeah. You hit it exactly right. There's, like you said, the brain fog thing you wouldn't think is with your gut, but it's very much connected. And some people are like, no, it's completely separate. But it's not just like gas and constipation. It's or bloating, many other things too. So,
Exactly.
oh, well,
Who's there in
I,
the
I
background?
I know, my dog likes to come say hi. So, which is maybe good for the gut, right?
Actually,
um,
having a dog is one way that I call them microbiome expanders. So dogs actually help diversify your microbiome because
yeah,
they're like licking things and they're getting in the dirt and the soil, and then they come and they lick your face. That's actually helping to diversify your gut microbiome.
it's so true. Yeah, so it's good to get a little dirt happening and it's yeah, to not be afraid of the dirt, right? And the dog's giving you doggy kisses, but oh, I love it. Okay, so then I want to hear what do you do specific stool testing to kind of help people diagnose certain things? What do you usually do in your practice?
Typically, I'll do stool testing. I'll do a whole bunch of different antibody, food sensitivity testing. I look for antibodies to different molecules related to leaky gut, like zonulin, actin, which is basically a protein that builds the tight junctions between
Okay.
the cells that are like these Velcro-like connections that keep the cells locked together. And then when they break up, that's when you get leaky gut. So I look at all those things, food sensitivities. I look at environmental toxins, and I look at some other special antibodies that can be hints like to an autoimmune version of IBS that most people don't know exists.
Oh, okay, interesting. All
Yeah,
right.
so I do gut testing. There's no perfect gut test,
Mm,
but I use a gut test that I think gives me enough clinically actionable information.
yeah. Is it one of like the 3-day ones that I've seen before, or is it longer than that? Or
It's
just
actually this one is actually quite easy. It's a 1 day,
well, that's good.
but it has a lot of different markers.
That's good.
I've I've gone through different gut tests, and the one that I favor right now is called the Gut Zoomer, but
Okay.
that evolves over time as I discover new tests. But for me, it's more like a patient was asking me the other day about a test that's available direct to consumer. And I said, look, I don't use that test because it doesn't give me as much clinically actionable information.
Mm,
For me as a practitioner, I'm using a test that is not direct to consumer because what I need is information that I apply into like the protocols that I use when I personalize a gut health protocol for a patient,
right.
plus following inflammatory markers over time. And a lot of the tests only give you like 1 or 2 inflammatory markers. The one that I do gives me 9 inflammatory
Oh,
markers.
that's good. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, and is always constantly evolving and new things are coming out. But yeah, that's nice that
You have
there's.
to stay agile. Yeah, because the
Mhm.
information is so rapidly developing, and now with AI-powered interpretation tools that I think are really going to change the face of medicine,
It is.
this is gonna be a rapidly evolving, um, body of knowledge.
Right. And that's great that you had that like with an open hand, just kind of loosely, like that you're gonna. It's not like I'm gonna always be this dual test because this is it for now, which is great. But then, like you
I mean,
said,
just think like whatever we were doing, like 50% of what we thought and believed in medicine 25 years ago is incorrect at this point.
yeah, you're right. It's all outdated. Crazy. Oh my goodness. Okay, I want to be very mindful of your time, and I know I have a couple more questions I want to ask you. So, what does your personal support routine look like these days? What are you doing personally?
Well, okay, couple of things. I do work in intermittent fasting in
Hmm.
and out.
Yeah.
I do have my coffee routine, which is my pour over happy gut coffee. And in the coffee, I'm actually now putting in a couple of things. I put in an MCT oil that
Mhm.
has ECC 60, which is a
Mm,
carbon polymer that is it's an antioxidant that protects mitochondria and helps improve mitochondrial health. I add serum divide bovine and immunoglobulins to the coffee, as well as my leaky gut advantage powder. So I use a leaky gut powder both to flavor the coffee, but also for the gut health
oh, nice.
benefits. I'm also taking something called Body Bio PC, which is a phospholipid complex. I did a me screen test and found that my mitochondria, although they're healthy at baseline at rest, when they get stressed out, they falter a little bit. So now I'm working on a protocol, thus the carbon polymer as well as the phospholipids to restore my mitochondria along with intermittent fasting.
That's good.
So that's kind of like my typical morning, and I love drinking my coffee slowly and just kind of
Mm,
like starting the morning after probably having meditated or done a yoga routine or gone to the gym in the
yeah,
morning. So usually I do everything fasted and then come back and have coffee.
that's amazing. That sounds like a great routine. I'm curious about the powder that I didn't know that was a flavored one too to help flavor the coffee. That's good. Is there what's in the powder? Is it more of like a glutamine or like some kind of
It's L-glutamine, it's DGL, it has
okay.
aloe, it has N-glucosamine, and it's got like a very slight vanilla flavor, so it
Oh,
goes really well with the coffee.
and would you recommend anybody could take that or only if you have like gut issues?
I mean, honestly, like if you're stressed, if you've been on antibiotics, you have gut issues.
Yeah, I know, I know. So it's like it's pretty much probably no brainer for everybody. But oh my gosh, well, I will definitely have to add that one to my cart and check that one out, Dr. Vincent. Thank you for creating those things. This one's so good. Okay, and then what about um, couple? We have a couple rapid fire questions too, and then we actually have a handful of member questions. But I think we're gonna have to do like a part two, Dr. Vincent, because you are such a wealth of information, and I would love to do kind of like a Q&A style to get these member questions in. So,
Let's do
but
it.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We'll definitely have to have you back for round two. But all right, so this is more of like rapid fire to wrap it up here. A food that you used to love that no longer serves your gut.
Can it be anything? Can I go back to childhood?
Totally.
Oreo cookies.
Oh, yeah. Older but a goodie. Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God, I loved those Oreo cookies when I was a kid, and I loved, like, did you take them apart, and
I
then you
totally
could
did.
scoop the cream up on the inside? Oh my
I
gosh.
know, I know. There's nothing like those things, unfortunately. I don't even know the last time I had one, but yeah, I used to love those too. Oh my gosh,
Me neither.
too funny. Okay, favorite gut healing comfort food?
Ooh, favorite gut healing. That's gonna be bone broth.
Oh, yeah, so good.
That'll be because drinking a warm, bone broth with savory, maybe with, some herbs in it and sea salt or, like, Redmond's, salt, there's nothing like that, especially on a cold day. I love having that when it's cold outside.
That's good, yes. Oh, so good. Is there a certain one that you like, or do you make your own?
If I'm buying one of my favorite brands is called Bonafide.
Mhm. Yeah, I've had that.
And I like it because it's so thick, like, you can see, like, the gelatin, like, all it just feels, like, more holistic than a lot of the bone broths you buy are very liquidy, and you're like, "Okay,
Yeah,
this is missing a lot of things."
totally. Yeah, you're right. That's a good one. Okay, and then what is one gut myth you want to bust today?
Ooh, one gut myth. Well, I kinda said it before, which was, do you need to have gut issues
Yeah.
to have a gut-related health,
Yeah,
problem? And
totally.
the truth is you don't. So if you're suffering from headaches, if you're suffering some skin issues, if you're suffering from immune issues, if you're suffering from immune imbalances, brain health stuff, and you don't have gut issues, you probably do have gut issues.
100%.
You
Yes.
just don't know that they're there because they're
Yeah.
kind of sub-threshold. Maybe you're just not aware of the symptoms, but I see it over and over, people who are presenting with these areas of their systems in their body that are affected by gut health. A lot of times I will look at the gut even when they tell me they don't have a gut issue, because more often than not, I'm finding underlying gut issues, leaky gut, food
Yep.
sensitivities, potential parasites. I can't tell you how many times I find
Oh gosh, yeah.
hidden parasites in the gut. So I think
Mm,
I know I said it before, but I feel like it's worth repeating, because anybody who's listening out there
mhm.
and has unresolved health issues that nobody knows where they're coming from, if you haven't looked at your gut, then you might be missing where the true source is.
100%. Spot on. That's very good advice for every single person listening right now. So good. Okay. And then I know that you're launching your gut brain mastery program this summer, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Anything you want to share about that or tease us with it?
It's basically, so I put together a 6-week program that teaches you how to biohack your brain through your gut. And it was partly me discovering how even a certain type of diet, I call it anti-anxiety diet, or it could be called a psychobiotic diet, actually
Mm,
can shape the way that your brain responds to stress.
that's good.
And I started finding it's so interesting because we think that everything that's happening in the brain is in the brain, but part of what's going on in the brain and how the nervous system is functioning is actually being programmed by the gut. So I put together this
Oh,
program that teaches people through a series of videos, both practical and, because I bring in breath work, I bring in kind of like everything that I've studied. I
yeah.
teach about vagal theory, breath work, meditations, to really help people change the state of their brain.
Mm,
And for me, like, the ultimate in that program, if I could help people who are depressed,
yeah.
have been chronically depressed,
Oh, yeah.
realize that they can actually improve their brain health
Hmm.
by focusing on their gut, like, that to me would be a win.
Oh my gosh. And you will. I know you will. Definitely people can improve their mental health through that too, just because it is all connected too. So, oh my gosh, well, we'll definitely have to shout it from the rooftops and Life Network once that is live, and we'll point people where to find it. So, and then same thing with the coffee, and for people can buy that and your website and any of those things. Anything you want to share there?
The coffee is super easy to remember. It's happygutcoffee.com.
Perfect.
But they're gonna be able to find it on the Life Network as well, so
Yeah.
it's gonna be super easy for Life members, and I know we're going to have special discounts for
Yep.
Life Network members.
Amazing.
So they're gonna be able to find everything there, and I look forward to interacting with the members of the Life Network and sharing more of my wisdom, anything that I can share to help people find their path to wellness.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, we are just grateful for your time today, for being an expert within Life Network, and we'll definitely have to have you back on for a part two. Maybe do like a fun Q&A live. I think would be so good because I get people all the time who ask me about gut health. So, and you were the man.
We can definitely fill in an entire hour with just a Q&A.
Gosh, I know. Yeah. Okay. Well, we will get that set up. So, any last words that you would like to leave for everybody today, Dr. Vincent?
Get out and earth yourself, get grounded, connect with the earth.
Yeah.
Important way or get to the beach. One of my favorite places to get connected to the earth is to put my feet on the sand. And that helps to regulate our nervous systems. We have to remember how important it is to get out into nature as part of a way of co-regulating our nervous system.
Yes, co-regulating. Yeah, that's so true. And drinking better coffee.
And drinking better coffee.
Cheers to that. Oh, well, good. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in into this week's episode for the Life Lounge. If today's conversation sparked something in you, we would love to hear about it. So leave a review, share with a friend, or tag us on Instagram. And until next time, take care of your gut, nourish your soul, and never forget that real healing happens in community. Thank you, Dr. Vincent.
Thank you.